Welcome to a new update. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is making massive new highs as we have been reaching $44,000. We are into the pre-halving rally and we are into the pre-spot Bitcoin ETF rally. Both of them are going to be happening in Q1 and the beginning of Q2, so that's why the sentiment is super bullish at this point. I'm going to give you my long-term view on Bitcoin and what we can expect from here, because I think new people are coming into the markets. It might be a bit of strange feelings after the 2 year of a bear market that we have been experiencing. So in that regard, we're going to look at all the cycles and we're going to look at the current stage of the cycle, where we are, what levels you should be able to identify for potential buy opportunities. And we're going to look at a case where we might be seeing some resistances with Bitcoin. And I'm also diving into another slide concept. But before we continue, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I've not been making too many videos in the previous months, as I've been busy wrapping up my Discord, which is going to be ending at the end of this year. We've launched our consultancy where we can assist you with your portfolio throughout the entire cycle. So what we do is we build one for you, or we rebuild one portfolio for you, and we provide you with guidance over the entire year. If you want that, we provide you with strategies to actually navigate the markets in the best way. As this is my third cycle, so I've got a lot of experience already, including the people in my team. We're also working on the asset management currently, and I've just been busy the past week with my trading course, which I know that a lot of you are interested in. If you are, make sure to make a comment beneath in what you're looking to see in the actual trading course, and maybe we can already give you some intel on the course itself. It's going to launch in the beginning of January. I'm very proud of launching 2 courses this year. The Crypto 101 course is there already. This video is sponsored by Bybit, which is my go-to exchange to trade with derivatives. Make sure to sign up there if you want to trade. You can also do it in the Netherlands. I'm using it for all my altcoin and Bitcoin day trading activities, and I'm very active in the markets, as you might assume already. In this case, let's look at the markets. First of all, as you can see on the screen, we've got all the cycles there. So we're going to discuss all the cycles, and we're going to discuss where we are in the current cycle and what we can expect. In tomorrow's video, I'll be discussing altcoins, and also altcoins are at a very, very good stage right now to be investing in. Most of them are doing really well, but this is just the start. So basically, we can still expect a lot to come in the coming few months, but Bitcoin needs to consolidate, and I think it's going to. I think the most momentum is out of the price action of Bitcoin. I don't believe that we're going to have a vertical chart as what we have been witnessing in 2012, but I do assume that we're going to get into a stage where at least we have gradual increases on the price action of Bitcoin. So we're going to discuss this. I'll be hopping into Bitcoin versus gold for a little bit, and then we go back towards the current prices and see where we are seeing some resistances and what we can do to actually purchase back into the Bitcoin price action at this stage if you are looking for investment opportunities. So in this regard, what do we see? The orange lines are pretty much the halving dates. All right. So here in 2012, we had a pretty heavy bear market taking place. We had the first run up, and then the pre-halving rally took place, and we corrected just prior to the actual Bitcoin halving here. I'll just zoom in for a little bit. So we corrected as we were breaking through the level of $7. And then we corrected from 15 all the way back towards 8. Then a new cycle takes place, 2015, 2016. A very comparable length of bear market was happening here, through which we can see that after that we had a break upwards, which was also happening during the current cycle. And we had a pre-halving run, which took place just months before the halving, after which we consolidated, and it took a long time to break the highs in the all-time high, but then we had 2017, of course. So here there was a pre-halving rally as well. Where did we go to? I need to remove this. We rallied all the way towards the 0.35 and 0.382 level, which is very comparable to any of these upwards runs. As you can see that in this case, we came all the way towards 61865. So somewhere in between these two, so far we've got a sample size of 2. We're probably going to top out. Now 2018, 2019, had the first rally taking place here, which was very much focused on Bitcoin itself. Then we started the pre-halving rally, but COVID actually crashed the markets. Otherwise, we would have been standing somewhere around this region, perhaps even witnessing a pre-halving all-time high. Now, what we were seeing here is another rally towards the 35382 Fibonacci level. All right. So what we see currently with the price action of Bitcoin is that we're running upwards massively. So we had a retest taking place at 25k, and we had a double bottom here, but we constantly have been making higher lows and higher highs. We also continued to rally and didn't even make a retest at 30k. We continued to rally with no retests, no corrections, just continuous higher lows, higher highs, and I'll show you that in the lower time frames, through which you can start navigating towards which level we potentially are going to go to. And in this case, I suspect that we're going to launch ourselves towards a rally to 48 to 50k. So we had the first run, we're currently in the second stage of the run, and most likely we're finding ourselves into a period that traders and investors are saying, hey, we just rallied from 25 to 45. Most likely we're at the end stage of this run right now because the upwards momentum is skewed. We've got a lot of people that are interested into selling their bags right now, and most likely an additional one, if BlackRock and all the big parties have been looking to accumulate their collateral for the launch of the ETF, or the approval and then the launch of the ETF, most likely they have been allocating towards Bitcoin, and I think that the buying of that is going to close down in the next few weeks. So what we might be having at the end stage in January is 1 week upwards, and then we start to correct, have a relatively boring period for 2024, or at least somewhere in the regions of this, as we also witnessed the similar case in 2020, in which we started to break above these highs at the end of 2020. and 2016 we had the exact same, where we rallied towards the halving and then we started to correct, and only at the end stage of 2016 we started to break upwards. So in this case, it seems very likely that we have a similar case in which Bitcoin rallies towards the area here, consolidates, goes sideways, and then at the end stage of 2024 we're going to break towards new highs, or we continue to grind throughout the year but not having that much of volatility. So I think that the upside is skewed. And then there is something special taking place right now, which is that the correlation between Bitcoin and gold is going pretty much through the roof. So the only conclusion you can make out of this is that people are heavily skewed towards a position in cash and in crypto and in commodities. So having commodities right now makes sense, and the fact that there's so much uncertainty in the world right now, that is why Bitcoin and gold are both doing really well. Gold has been correcting, but we created ourselves into a new all-time high actually. And I think that this is just a correction after taking the liquidity, we make a higher low, and then we continue to push, which means that with the price action of Bitcoin, it is very similar to what we have witnessed with gold. However, given the additional layers of positive momentum on Bitcoin, you would suspect that in this case you will be seeing more money go towards Bitcoin, and also there's less capital into the Bitcoin markets, hence why it is easier to move the markets than the gold markets. However, in this case, I think we have just been witnessing so many green candles already. Every indicator is getting into stages of being a little bit overheated. We are facing a few events that are most likely going to give us at least a temporary top. Whether it's going to be 48 to 50 or maybe higher or anywhere lower, I think that this is a very, very likely case. However, if we are going to get into the stage of a rally towards here, correct, go sideways and then fall back, this sideways period of a window of 1 to 2 months, that is going to be the period where altcoins are going to do really, really well. And that is what I'm going to discuss in the video for tomorrow. Now, when we look at Bitcoin, I think when you're looking at it in terms of lower time frames, what you can see is that we have the conclusion of constant higher lows to be created. And I think we're going to continue having that in the upcoming period, unless we're going to have a structure where we make something like this, have a high, consolidate another high, and then we start to fall back and take all the liquidity, through which I don't suspect Bitcoin to fall all the way back towards 30K. If that is happening and we reach 47K, we are making a correction of more than 30%. If you look back into any of these market cycles, that doesn't really happen too often. Here we had a 25% correction. Here we had approximately a 28% correction. In the bull markets here, we had 20 to 30% corrections. And I think that the 30K level was the level where people are really looking forward to a position, which I don't think you should get. So based on the higher time frames, it seems very likely that we're going to peak out at the other side of the range, right? We have been acting in this range during the phase of 2022. So there is a likely case that we're going to stay into this as well during 2024, which means that approaching this high and finding ourselves in this region for a resistance is my most likely scenario at this stage, given the fact that we're going to have all these events. What is the range low? That is this block here, which means that anything between 35 to 38K is a very reasonable target for entries somewhere down the line in Q2 of 2024. So the question right now is, what should you be doing if you don't have a position in Bitcoin right now? And I think there are a few scenarios for that. One is, if your horizon is 2 years from now, I just would say, okay, I'm gonna DCA for the coming 4 to 5 months. I take 20 weeks, I divide my investment by 20, and I just buy every Sunday for 5% of my investment. And I'm not looking at the price at all, but I'm sure that after these events, we get a correction, so everything is done, right? The other way is, I wait for a significant correction, because in a bull market, 20 to 40% corrections are a buying opportunity. So I'll just let it run for now. I might position some more into altcoins, but if something like this happens, then this is going to be my entry point. Bit more tricky, but it seems very likely to have such a case. And I think that we're going to construct ourselves into such a range. Tomorrow I'll be discussing altcoins with you. I hope this video has been interesting. If so, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Ciao!